We are live. That didn't really work out. I was trying to do Boom Shakalaka, and it just
weird.
It was like getting stuffed by Shaq. Like, do you ever watch that episode of Cribs? I think when he was like playing his son.
For sure not.
And he like stuffed the hell out of his kid.
That's kind of funny. I could see Shaq doing that.
Yeah,
I'm really
so
enjoying it. Yeah.
That was just like Shaq stuffing his son.
Okay.
Just now.
Yeah.
That Boom Riftalaka.
That was
didn't really
that was
work
quite an
out.
intro. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
Didn't really work out. I wanted to have some animation. And it failed. An epic fail.
You know, it happens sometimes.
Just burning up Hall of Flames.
Yeah.
Awful time. Bad time.
That's one way to put it.
Yep, 160, coming in hot, coming in fast, coming in disappointing so far. So, hopefully the show itself will not be disappointing.
We'll rebound quick.
We'll rebound just like Shaq's son did. I think now he's like an actual basketball player or something, or a football player. He's something.
Sure.
His little son is now an adult, baby Shaq or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what they call him.
Mini Shaq.
Mini Shaq. Shaq Mini or something.
He should have named his kid Kazam.
Yeah, he should have. He should have. Hi, Murph. How are you? Murph's here. He's in the building. I'm waiting for some crazy,
there'll be something. There'll be something. There always is.
Saying from Murph.
Yeah.
Some lunacy here.
Some would you rather or hypothetical.
Yeah. Or mac and cheese or something.
Yeah.
So, even though we started off in flames, we're going to rise like the phoenix and have a good show. So this is episode 160, like I said just a couple seconds ago. We have a really cool guest on the show. We've mentioned Game Underground the last couple weeks. We're going to have one of the owners of Game Underground, Jamie York, on the show. He's a really cool guy. We're going to talk about Game Underground. We're going to talk about the conventions they're going to, because they'll be at PAX East. They'll be at Connecticut GamerCon.
Yep.
So CT GamerCon, Mitch's Gaming Con. So they'll be at a bunch of other shows too, but those are the two I remember. So we'll talk to them about that. We'll talk to him about the Pokemon Go tournaments. We'll talk to him about wrestling. He's a big wrestling fan too, so we'll sprinkle some wrestling in on there.
Sure.
So he has some interesting name for his Pokemon that he uses in Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah?
So they're all like wrestling themed, like Alexa Blissey.
Oh, he's a nicknamer, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty cool.
All right.
So we'll have him on the show. Oh, Luke, how are you? Luke was at the tournament, one of my fellow admins from Pokemon Go Massachusetts. Thank you for joining, Luke.
What's up, Luke?
So he was there. We'll talk about it in a couple moments. So, yeah, we're going to have a really good show. Jamie's a really cool guy. We'll have him on. And then I don't know how long he has for us tonight. So the closing segment, if there is one, is a mystery right now.
Ooh.
So
suspenseful.
Yeah. So we're going to keep that in our holster right now. We're going to keep that holstered.
I like that, yeah.
So
it's good.
And that doesn't mean that we don't know what it is, because
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Somebody knows what it is.
Somebody knows.
Somebody in this room knows what it is.
Somebody knows. So we will maybe have a final segment, or maybe we'll just have the interview the whole time. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know how much time he has for us. He's a very busy man running a gaming store and going to a bunch of conventions, so I don't know how long he'll have for us tonight. So as we start every show, we're going to talk about what we did this week, what we consumed. Jason, what did you do?
I started a new Netflix show. It's called The Frankenstein Chronicles.
Okay, that sounds awful.
Is that the one with Daniel Radcliffe and?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is the one with Sean Bean in it.
Is he dead?
No, he's not dead yet.
Okay.
Three episodes in so far.
Man.
He's not dead.
I give him 10.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll see. Well, apparently it's 2 seasons, so I guess he's holding on.
He
for a
lived
while.
to the first one?
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
all right.
he basically plays this inspector, and this girl washes up on shore in like 18th century England, and she's all stitched together. Like she's not
Sally from
sort of, but like she's not.
Christmas.
She's made up of like 8 different kids that are like all stitched together as like one thing. So he has to figure out, okay, who the hell is doing this? Because that's not cool. Can't have
but
that.
she's alive. But
No,
stitched
she's
together.
dead. No,
she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's
but
not.
there are live children who are also getting like stitched together, and kind of weird stuff like that. So it's kind of like a murder mystery kind of thing so far. It's a bit of a slow burner, I think. At least that's the way it seems. Again, I've only watched 3 episodes, but it's pretty good. I think Sean Bean's an underrated actor. He's not like Academy Award winning quality or anything like that, but he's pretty good. So it's pretty interesting so far if you're into like mysteries and that sort of time period.
So we have a
check it out.
comment from Luke, and he says, "It sucks. The seasons just end."
There is no end really to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm committed now. So
You know what else is a little disappointing though?
What?
No Murph. What?
Not yet.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Murph has been quiet so far.
Murph.
Yeah.
Let's down here, buddy. I think he's already gone. I
Might
think
be.
he was just like, screw these guys.
Might be. Yeah, I don't know. But if you're looking for a quintessentially British time period mystery show, check out the Frankenstein Chronicles. Might be worth your time.
Is it set in this day and age now, or is it set in like the past?
No, it's set in like the 1800s. So, yeah. But I like that. I actually like that time period. So.
I'm iffy on it. So, I don't know.
I like all the goofy accents and the, I like the way people dressed back then. I wish we dressed like that now.
I got to stop like moving around.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I know. I'm fidgety today, too.
I'm very fidgety. Oh, Luke, I'm going to take your word for it. Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
He loves it. So.
I think it's worth checking out. I needed a break from Marvel shows, so I just needed something completely different from Marvel for a while, because I'd been binging Marvel for the past, 6 months.
I mean,
so.
on a good note, there's nothing else from Marvel for you to watch.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything now, so.
I hear good news about the DC shows.
Okay.
So, like, Doom Patrol, I hear is really good.
Yeah.
I'm not buying the DC app yet. I don't know if I'm gonna, but there's already 3 shows that I want to watch on there. So I might just snag it and do the whole month thing and just binge all 3 shows and then be like,
And then peace out. Yeah. Yeah, I can see
give
that.
him the crotch chop.
It's not the worst idea.
See you later, guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How about you, Dimitri? What did you do?
I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm doing something that I never thought I was gonna do.
Oh, wow. Porn?
Well, no, I do that on a daily basis.
Not yet, huh?
Okay.
Wait,
watching it or being in it?
both.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, I have to watch myself when I'm in it, obviously.
Fair.
I'm watching the older show called Friends on Netflix.
You're just... Wait, have you seen it before? This is your
No,
first
I
time?
haven't.
Oh,
This is
man.
my first time watching it.
How's that going?
I realized why certain generations, especially ours, are super sarcastic, because Friends and that 70s show and a couple of other series have an extremely sarcastic character, and that's what we modeled ourselves after.
Yeah.
So there's an entire generation of people out there that are super, super sarcastic.
All right. Hot take here. Friends, mediocre.
I agree.
I think Friends now, mediocre.
Very mediocre.
If you watched it when it came out, it was funny. If you try and watch it now, it's rough.
I mean, it probably still had funny moments, but still mediocre. I think it's always been even when I was
No.
like younger watching it, mediocre.
I never watched it before, so like all the jokes are out of date, all the references are out of date.
Yeah.
Sure, but mediocre. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely mediocre. But I'm already on season 9. so-
I feel it doesn't have the rewatchability that everyone says it does.
No, I agree with that. It definitely
Eh,
doesn't.
Want an even hotter take?
Hmm.
You ready for this? You guys might not like me after
Maybe.
this.
I don't know. We'll see.
Seinfeld.
Trash.
Blo-
Yeah. Absolute garbage.
I love you.
Seinfeld sucks.
I love you. Seinfeld is absolute trash.
Seinfeld is such
That show
trash.
blows.
I think Seinfeld is slightly better than Friends.
it sucks and blows. No way.
No, I think Seinfeld's absolute garbage.
Why?
Garbage.
It's
Super
just
garbage.
not, I just never found it funny.
It's not funny.
Elaine
sucks.
is the best part of that show, and
Kramer sucks.
Kramer sucks.
The bald guy sucks.
Jason Alexander.
The soup guy sucks.
Costanza, yeah, Costanza's way overrated.
They all suck.
Yeah,
Sucks.
yeah.
Well, okay then.
Blows.
Tell me how you really feel.
Thank you. Luke says trash too.
Yep.
Trash.
Yeah, no, he's right.
Mike, how you doing? Mike's here. How
Yeah.
you doing? Anyone who's listening to the show later on when we put it up on like iTunes are gonna be like, are these guys all in the studio? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. No, it's. I agree with you about Seinfeld. That's no.
Absolute trash.
No.
Ugh.
If
Gross.
Seinfeld was on Netflix, I'd watch it all the way through.
Wouldn't watch it.
No.
Couldn't. Honestly, I don't know if you could pay me to watch it. I don't think I'd
See,
do it.
It'd be tough.
I give a series at least one chance. If there's a series I'm somewhat interested in,
And you
or
watch the whole thing through?
for Friends.
No,
Or
I mean,
for,
just in general.
for Seinfeld, if it was somewhere available like Hulu or Netflix, I would give it a chance to try to watch it all the way through.
Oh, I've watched a couple episodes and it blew ass.
No.
So
I watch it when it's on TV just randomly sometimes, but like I want to watch it all the
Trash.
way through.
I can't believe it's actually still on TV somewhere. It's like,
Absolutely.
I would
still
give it a
people that want to
chance.
watch this. Mm.
Trash.
I've tried.
Okay, how is Seinfeld so much worse than Friends? Friends is not that.
It's just not that funny.
It's at least Friends had some good moments. And
Friends
then,
had
like,
some good moments.
and you had a hot Jennifer Aniston,
Well, that helps.
so I could watch
Yeah.
to see her hotness, or a good-looking an all-right-looking Courtney Cox, the younger Courtney Cox. All right, take it. What does Seinfeld have? It has some old creepy dude. It has some other creepy dude. It has some ugly Elaine, and then I don't know. It just sucks. The show just blows.
Yeah, I never.
And
found
then
it good.
just the cadence of Seinfeld's voice, I just want to throat punch him. I'd throat punch him.
Yeah,
You're so violent.
I think you feel the way about Seinfeld the way I do about Charlie Day, which is why I can't watch Always Sunny.
Oh yeah.
See, I
he used to annoy me in the beginning too.
He annoys the crap out
think
of me.
I'm
Yeah, I got used to it though.
Oh.
maybe not as intense with you on it, but I'm kind of thinking that show's not that great either.
No, I
No,
don't
it's
think
not.
it's that good.
No, there's people that are absolutely like obsessed with it. And I
I
don't
feel like
understand
that's a very bro type of show.
Yeah.
like
And there's nothing wrong with being a
bros
bro.
everywhere. Like it's the funniest show ever. And I
Shout
tried
out
to watch
Matt
it.
Riddle
I'm
if he's listening. Matt
I'm
Riddle,
like,
shout out.
Oh no.
No. I actually did watch that show all the way through, and I still do watch the new episodes,
Yeah.
but I'm not like obsessed with it. I'm like, all right, I'll put it on the back.
We just got to make sure that
Yeah.
the bros know that Static Rift is a bro show. We accept all the bros, but we just don't want to watch.
We just don't want to watch your crappy shows. That's all.
So no Sunny and no Seinfeld.
Nope.
no, Seinfeld's trash.
Put them both in the bin.
The bin.
Yep.
Bins
But,
up.
but Friends is okay.
Bins
Yeah, Friends
up.
is fine. Friends can stick around for a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just overrated.
It's just not
that
as
great.
good.
Mediocre.
What,
Very
what
mediocre.
other late '90s sitcoms? were
Everybody
shows?
Loves Raymond was the greatest one ever made.
Really?
Yes.
Oh come on.
Yes. Yes. Especially for those of us that grew up in an Italian household. Yes. Funniest show that was ever
See,
made.
I disagree with you. I think out of. See, I think Raymond is probably.
See,
like
I think if
second
you're
to
going
last
with
for me.
like funny shows, like back in the day, you go with like Family Matters.
I never.
You
watched
go
that.
with. You didn't watch Family Matters?
Well,
What's wrong with you?
I'm also a generation below you. You're older than me.
Oh man,
I suppose that's true. Yeah, family. I didn't.
Family Matters was good.
Wasn't okay.
I liked Family Matters. I thought it was some quality show, like Boy Meets World, quality show.
That was a good show.
I never got into
Yeah,
that.
Boy Meets World
oh
was good.
man,
I never got into
Feeny. What else did you have?
What's the other one? Third Rock from the Sun, I think, was pretty big.
The Rock from Sun was good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was good.
No,
I mean, I don't think it was like amazing. It was good.
yeah it was all right.
Slightly better than mediocre.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
I don't know. Just there's so many like older shows that are better than Friends and all that. I mean, a lot of people love Friends, but
Saved by the Bell, actually not bad.
Saved by the Bell, great,
Yep.
great show.
Never got into
Even the
that.
college years, mediocre then.
Mediocre, yeah,
mediocre,
but they were okay.
still watchable.
Passable.
College years are passable.
Passable, yeah.
Passable. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. It's all right.
No idea what that is.
You never watched Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
No.
Oh man, check it out. It's a good show.
I've never even heard of that.
Good show. I'm trying to think of other shows that were on like TGIF on Friday nights.
I don't know. I don't think there's many more that I watched.
There were other ones that I didn't watch like religiously, but
I was into the Saturday morning cartoons, so I watched.
I watched them too.
Well, obviously that.
Oh,
yeah.
Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince was good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fresh Prince is
Yeah.
definitely a classic.
I
Absolutely.
never
Good
watched
show.
that like a lot. I only saw a few episodes here and there.
Oh, it's definitely
I
an old
actually-
show that
yeah.
holds up. Still funny. Still
Yeah.
great.
I ended up watching a lot of that.
I think it was my generation just just missed it.
I'd say, you know what one feels awkward because it was actually a good show when it came out was The Cosby Show. It actually was pretty funny. But now it's like,
You know,
I don't know. It feels bad, man. Feels bad.
who knows how many drinks he really did drug?
I don't know. I don't
So-
care. As long as, if
Yeah.
he did it once, it's terrible.
It is-
So I don't
yeah.
care how many times he did it. But,
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
I mean, sure.
But that show was actually pretty funny. Probably impossible to watch now, but
Yeah, Cheers sucked.
oh, Cheers didn't suck.
Wasn't that good?
I actually watched Cheers.
Another
It's on
over-
Netflix. I watched it all the way.
Yeah.
through.
Another
Cheers is
overrated
good.
show.
It is overrated, definitely. Well, it's also like really old.
It is old,
All the
yeah.
references and all the
Step
jokes
by
are really
Step. Come on, Mike. It was okay. Step by Step was pretty good.
Old. Oh, Frasier. Since we talked about Cheers.
I didn't mind Frasier. It wasn't my favorite though.
Yeah, I didn't really watch
You
it.
had to be in the right mood for Frasier.
Yeah,
Because like if you were in a bad mood, Frasier was the last thing you wanted to watch.
Well, I guess we have a known victim here because Luke said he was drugged by Cosby
boy.
too. So I guess he drugged them all.
Unless you're a hot actress from the '80s, Luke, I don't think that's probably true. But
I mean, maybe
knows?
Cosby got a little freaky and we didn't know.
Who knows?
So
Oh,
we're already off the rails,
I'm gonna
baby.
take a second. Yeah.
Oh, that was enough about me. Now,
So this past Sunday, we had our second Pokemon Go PvP tournament presented by the Sylph League. So Sylph League rules. Our second ranked tournament. It was the Twilight Cup and the Tournament of Love. You heard me talk about it on the show before. The Twilight Cup was Poison, Dark, Ghost, and Fairy type Pokemon. And the Tournament of Love, a tournament that I created, was Red, White, Pink colored Pokemon or Fire and Ice typed Pokemon. So we started off with the Twilight Cup. That was the ranked tournament hosted by Sylph. We're using their technology to run the tournament. And a little disappointing with their technology, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Since
Technological foibles again.
we talked about it before we got on air, and you actually made me feel that way because before I didn't really blame them, but after telling you about it, I feel like, you know what? Maybe it is Sylph's fault. Maybe I can blame Sylph.
Feels
I don't
like
know.
Sylph needs to do some bug
Some
testing.
tightening up, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So we started the tournament. So the event started at 4 because last time we had people coming in because we started at 5. We had people coming in. I like that. We had people coming in right before the tournament started, and unfortunately, we had to send some people away because they came too late in the tournament. Once it starts, you can't go back in. So
Right.
we knew that already. So we kind of learned it the hard way. Wow, is this?
grab the remote, change the color.
Oh, I just don't know why it's going crazy.
I don't know.
Because I pushed the wrong button and made it change.
Oh, all right. Well, that's all on you, Jason,
Yeah, I got it.
because I'm right in the middle of this. So we had to send people away the first time. This time we set it an hour early, so you could come in, you could set up your team. I could help you through it all. I don't want to give anybody seizures or anything with the light,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
Red's good.
Kill anybody. Anyone's watching Static Rift and foaming from the mouth.
wouldn't be good.
I don't want that. Yeah, Dimitri, you might be fired right now. I don't know.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Do I get a severance package?
We'll talk about it.
Hell no.
We'll talk about it during the break, I guess. So, like I said, we wanted to give them the extra hour. So a lot of people actually did come at 4, even though I wrote in the thing, like, if you already had the card, you already were set in there, you could come closer to the tournament. Most people did come that hour and just hung out and talked and
That's good.
chatted and gave each other pointers on, what they wanted to do or what Pokemon they were wanting to use and stuff like that. So it was really cool. It was very nice, a nice community feeling, and I think that's what Pokemon Go is supposed to be. It's supposed to be one of those things where you get with your community and you have a good time. So right before the 5 o'clock deadline, we had my buddy Brennan, who was trying so hard to focus on getting the right team. He's been working so hard on his team the last couple weeks. So we made like a last minute change, but in that last minute change, it kicked him out. So he was no longer in the tournament anymore. They put him back in like the pre-register section, and he couldn't get in. And I'm assuming the person that was paired with him was also kicked out because we lost another guy for no reason at all. He was in there. He was registered. He was all set, waiting for his opponent. And right when 5 hit, he just got knocked out, and he wasn't in there anymore. So we had no idea what was going on, so that sucked.
That's rough.
So then we set up another tournament because at that point we couldn't do anything, and I wasn't going to have the other dude that got knocked out was there for like hours. So I'm like, I'm not going to kick this dude out. Like, he's been here all day. Like, no,
Sure.
I got to figure this out. So we quickly made another tournament. But you can't have 2 ranked tournaments going at the same time. So it was just a non-ranked tournament.
Yeah.
So I had everyone set in, everyone put their things in, and then I realized this isn't a ranked tournament. So I had to delete the original tournament, then delete the second tournament, then create the third tournament. At this point, it's like 5:30 now, 5:30-ish, 5:20-ish. Like it was like 5:27 or something. So they wouldn't let me make it for 5:30
Yeah.
because it was too close.
Right.
So it ended up being like a little after 5:45 when things got started. So it was definitely very frustrating. I was super flustered.
Yeah.
So once we got the tournament started, I was still I played horribly. I played really bad. I didn't do well.
You were thrown off your game.
I was thrown off my game. I played my buddy Mike in the first round. I beat him. It sucked because I was hoping that I wouldn't have to play any of my friends early on. I was hoping towards the end. And then, of course, I got matched up with Brent in the next round. And it came down to almost the wire. No, was it him next round? I think it was him next round. Yeah, it was him next round. It came down to the wire. Like, I beat him the first match. He beat me the second match. And then in the third match, I had the advantage. But I used the shield just, like, by reflex. Because I was so flustered. I was just like, I didn't even. So I used my shields when I could have just took the hit. And because I used that shield, it definitely gave me no chance of winning. But if I had the shield, I might have. I don't know. It was really close either way.
Sure.
But if I had that shield, I might have won.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So now I'm like second guessing myself. So I'm already pissed now. So then it gets to the next round. So I lost at this point. So now I'm just trying to get second or third place.
Mm-hmm.
I play one of our older tournament members, and I almost lost to her too.
Wow.
So, just because I was making bonehead moves,
Yeah.
and I would have retired. I would have been done. That would have been it. Like,
Oh man.
that would have been the end of my
That would've been
Pokemon career.
Just would have gone out on your Pokeball sword or whatever. Yeah.
If I lost to her, no offense to her,
You're right.
I lost to her, I would have been out ski. I would have pieced out right like this. I would have been out of the tournament.
Yeah.
I would have walked out. I would have went home
Wow.
toast.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting by her. I ended up with a 3-1 record. And I made it. I was third place, so disappointing for that first tournament. But I did get third place. Then in the Ultra League, the Tournament of Love, I was back to my normal thing. I was blazing through people. I went undefeated till the championship, and then in the championship, I think I finally met someone that planned more than I did.
Oh, is that possible?
Yes, I guess,
You
because so here's what happened. I picked Deoxys, who's basically the Mewtwo of the third generation,
Sure.
or supposed to be the Mewtwo of the third. The worst piece of trash Pokemon I've ever experienced. Like trash.
Oh, no.
Absolute. It was basically like I only had 5 instead of 6 Pokemon. It took like 3 hits and he was dead.
Wow.
And it should have been like I don't know. He blew ass.
Yeah.
He sucked.
Is he gonna get cut from your roster now?
I'm never going to use it again.
Yeah.
But like the last minute, I chose him over Porygon Z, which if I put Porygon Z, I might have won.
Yeah.
Because the first round was really close. I won the first round. Second round, also really close. He won it. The third round, it was getting to a point that he was knowing my Pokemon, though. So he was kind of knowing what I could do and what I couldn't do anymore. Mm-hmm. So then he didn't need to have to take certain risks. He knew if he had to shield here or didn't have to shield here because he knew I didn't have anything else that could necessarily beat him.
Right.
So he didn't have to be like, oh, I got a shield here and waste a shield if he didn't need to or not. And I really had nothing to beat him except Deoxys, which had dual electric moves. And he was using a Gyarados.
Oh,
and the Gyarados still smoked me.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Smoked me in 3 moves.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Trash.
Not good.
Trash. So I ended up getting second place in that. No badges again. It just, I can't win the badge. It's like
You're never gonna get those badges.
It's my kryptonite.
No.
Nope, I can't. And they had Kanto and Johto badges. I want those Johto badges really bad. Nothing. Nope.
No.
Smoked. Well,
Can't have
not.
'em.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily smoked, but the third round kind of was because he
Yeah.
blew through Deoxys, and then I was at a disadvantage already, and then I think I got one of his Pokemon, if that.
Yeah.
But he smoked through my 3, so
Well.
it was very disappointing. But I think he actually planned more than I did, or I just made that stupid, dumb, bonehead decision of trusting. I should have play tested Deoxys more, and I didn't, and that was my fault.
Yeah.
And
Feels bad, man.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing. But we're about to end the segment because we got to get Jamie on the phone, get him on here. But just want to announce that we are going to have our third tournament. It will be, unfortunately, it's going to be next weekend. Not this weekend,
Jeez.
but the weekend, yeah. Because with PAX and
Oh, I suppose.
it doesn't work. We can't do it. It's like the legit. And then St. Patrick's Day weekend, you can't have a tournament on St. Patrick's Day weekend. You
Sure.
can't. So the last 3 weekends in March, you can't have it basically unless you want to. I just feel nobody would go. I just feel it'd be. We had like options, but we chose like this to be the best option of doing it March 10th.
Yeah.
That's what we chose to do. So we'll have our next one March 10th. But we'll talk about that when Jamie's on because it's obviously going to be a Game Underground again. We were kind of playing, thinking if we were going to maybe do it around PAX and maybe do it near PAX or around PAX or near the hotel near PAX. But then we decided against it because we figured it wouldn't have good reception.
Yeah.
We would have had a lot of like glitches.
Forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have
So-
enough bandwidth.
We decided at right at the end, we were like, you know what? We'll just do it the 10th.
It's not worth competing with that monster.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
the
worth it.
10th was the best option.
I hear you.
So we're going to take a short break. We're going to get Jamie on the line, and we'll be back to talk a ton of topics, video games, wrestling, Comic-Cons. So stay tuned. We are back here on the Go Network, and we have a very special guest with us, one of the owners of Game Underground. Jamie York is here. Jamie, how you doing?
What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Good to have you on the show.
So
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
something we like to ask everybody that we have on, generally it's someone in comic books or video games, how they got their career started. But with you, how did you think of or how did you get Game Underground started?
So believe it or not, it's actually a pretty crazy story. I started. I worked at GameStop for about 8 years, and one of my good customers, my friend Dave, was always thinking about opening his own video game store. And finally, when I had about enough of the way GameStop was kind of working with us, I ended up leaving GameStop and working on this guy's warehouse for a while. He was selling video games on eBay, and then eventually we found a good spot and we opened a store called Game Universe. And then after a few years, he kind of got out of things, and I opened Game Underground in kind of the same spot, but as my own place instead of his. So with my wife and my family and friends help me run things here. It's pretty awesome.
It is awesome. It's definitely an awesome place. So if you've never been there before, it has arcade games. You have old school games that you can purchase. You have used games that you can purchase. It's definitely an awesome spot to be. You can stream games there. You can play games there. There's tournaments there. That's where we host our Pokemon Go tournaments. So anything else I'm missing, or what else can you do there?
Well, we kind of have a unique thing going on here because, I feel like, if you notice, there aren't too many independent game stores or arcades anymore. And basically, we feel like if we combine a bunch of things, we could do something really cool. So part of our store is like a video game store, like you'd find at like a GameStop or something. But we sell all the old school games they don't sell anymore, like old Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Genesis games, as well as the new stuff like PS4. And then we have a big arcade full of Japanese import music games and cool classic stuff like air hockey and skee ball and Pac-Man and stuff like that. And then we also run tournaments and events. There's about 80 people at my store right now for a Super Smash Brothers Ultimate tournament.
Oh, nice.
And,
Very good.
We do, it's awesome. The turnout's great. And, we do Fortnite on Fridays, and we do Pokemon Go tournaments each month. It's a lot of fun. We do something different every night here.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I'm so glad that you guys welcomed us with open arms for the Pokemon Go tournaments because it's definitely a good spot for playing Pokemon Go for sure. And you
we
actually
love it. And
play
you know
in the
what's cool
tournaments
is,
too.
Yeah, I enter the tournaments too. And the Waltham is like an amazing spot for Pokemon Go because we have all of there's so many stops and things around here. We're right near the Common, and they have big when they do the Pokemon Community Days, they get like hundreds of people out on the Common when it's nicer weather and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that we'll even like improve our turnout a lot as the weather gets warmer for our events at our store. You know?
Yeah, I'm thinking that too, because this time we had a couple people from like the Waltham Discord that joined us, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna let everybody know we're gonna really push the next one," because they had a good time. So I'm hoping, it's just maybe the weather that's holding people out, and more people will show up.
And it's cool because it also gives you a little break if you are outside and it's hot or cold or whatever. We're a good place you can duck in and hang out for a little while, and we have a really good spot here for the summer months. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, the location's pretty cool. There's a lot of parking around there for sure. There's restaurants, there's ice cream places, so it's definitely a good spot to be, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And we used to be in the Natick Mall, and it was just
wow.
like, and it was like when people would come into our store, the parents would kind of just like rush the kids out of there. Come on, we gotta go shopping and stuff like that. Where here, the parents come in and the parents are like, "Oh, thank you for moving here. We didn't have anything nice in Waltham where the kids could come hang out and play games."
Right? Yeah.
So it's really cool, and just having all the little, neighborhood kids come in and play Fortnite with us, and all the college kids come out and play Smash Brothers. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool to have a place to kind of go and play games like that because, it's one thing playing them online at home and you got your buddies over a headset, but playing it actually in a place where your buddies are like right next to you too, that's a little bit cooler, I think, for sure.
Well, yeah, definitely, and it definitely is something that we try to kind of create an atmosphere that you don't really get playing at home as much. Something that's really interesting about our arcade, which you might not notice, but it's kind of done on purpose. Almost everything we have here is something you can't normally just do at home. So like, we have like these Japanese music games that have like weird controllers or the dance pads like DDR and Pump It Up, or shooting game like Time Crisis, stuff that's just not easy to get at home. And then when you're doing tournaments and events, it's way different than playing on an online tournament or something. Like actually being able to kind of like get the atmosphere of like the esports and like cheering people on, or getting a community. And once people are a big thing that happens with our events here is people come here every week and then come to the big monthly events. But then when you have like a national event like Evo or something, our 80 to 100 regulars all go on the plane together to Las Vegas, and they cheer on New England and hope that the Boston player or people from around here win the big national stuff. And there's a kid named Light from New England, and also Mars, that are top 20 ranked players in the world right now for Smash Ultimate, and they practice at my store. So it's really cool to be part of that, and it's something that it's kind of a little bit of an underground thing. It's kind of like our store was originally actually in the basement underground, but we still have like the underground feel where like you might not know there's a Pokemon Go tournament happening in our store, but it's like a special, like, a special thing that you can find that's like, a community that you might not even know about.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know that you had ranked players. That's awesome. That is so cool. And you mentioned those Japanese games.
Awesome.
They're constantly playing, so they're constantly pumping out like some sweet Japanese beats, and so they'll have some like anime theme songs and stuff. So while we're playing Pokemon Go, like we have like theme songs while we're battling, so that's pretty sweet.
So, yeah, what's funny is we have like a lot of like this crazy like J-pop music and K-pop music and stuff like that, and people are like, oh, like, don't you get sick of hearing this all day? And like the opposite thing has happened to me and my family. Like, like we've like gone to see some of these bands in concert now because we see them so much in our store.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
went to see Baby Metal and Max and the Hormone and some of these crazy Japanese bands that have this music in the game. Or we've even had like bands that have songs in Rock Band or DDR like play at our events and stuff.
Oh
So
wow.
Nice. Yeah.
it's a really cool community to have here, and things that you wouldn't expect that all connect together.
Yeah, that is really cool. So you guys go to a ton of conventions. You're going to be going
Yeah.
to a bunch in the month of March. So let us know what's on the docket. What cons can people find you at if they want to maybe come up to meet you, or find out more about Game Underground, or maybe purchase something from you? Like, what do you sell at the cons? What do you do at the cons? What's your whole situation with the conventions?
So like the convention thing is kind of like the fourth pillar of our business. So, we sell games for retail. We have the arcade. We do tournaments, and we do like Magic the Gathering at my store. And then another big part of our business is these conventions. And we have basically two things we can do at conventions. We either end up doing we either end up doing running a game room for a convention where people can come and play video games, or we end up selling stuff. So, like for instance, for PAX East, what we have coming up, we have a big booth where we bring all our video games to sell. So we take all our retro games down there and sell them. I'll just kind of quickly, like you were saying, I kind of got away from it, but we have a few things coming up. We have Northeast Comic Con coming up in Boxborough, which is the weekend of the 15th.
Okay.
And we're running their video game room, and you can come there and you can play Smash Brothers with us, or play some classic games, as well as enjoy their comic stuff. And like Gilbert Gottfried's going to be there from Aladdin and all those awesome movies and stuff.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
It's a little, kind of more of a local convention. It's awesome, and I have a lot of fun. We do a couple of those every year.
Wow, I've never even heard of that one, so that's cool.
Yeah, Northeast Comic Con. They're really great. They're really, we've been doing them since the very first one they did. We've been running their game room. So,
That's awesome.
and all the tournaments at that event are free, and we just have like a good time. And then the next one is our big one. This is our the kind of the event that we're in charge of with our friend Mitch Hallock, who runs Terrificon, which is a Comic-Con in the summer.
Yeah.
And he approached us about teaming up for CT GamerCon, which is a spring event that they run at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. And what our job there is, I'm head of the esports and gaming for that event. So basically, Mitch kind of has he gets all the organization of. They have all these bring out, instead of going to like a comic convention where it's all comic book stuff or anime and it's all like costumes or things like that. At this convention, all the dealers are selling video game stuff. It's so cool, because when I go to like Boston Comic Con, I love comics, but I'll always be searching out the like 3 or 4 booths selling video game stuff because I love video games.
Sure. Yeah.
This one is the opposite, where the majority of things for sale there you'll find are classic games, Pokemon, Mario stuff, Mortal Kombat art, all that really cool video game stuff that kind of might be put to the side at another convention is kind of the main event and focus. And then, so like they have the big, huge ballroom there at Mohegan Sun, and half of the ballroom is selling stuff, and the other half is us running. We're going to be running a huge major tournament for Smash Bros. Ultimate. We have a $500 pot bonus. At least 2 of the top players in the world are going to be there, if not more than that. We have a humongous screen. We're live streaming it. We're also running tournaments for like fighting games like Street Fighter, the new Dead or Alive game, Soul Calibur. We're going to have a WWE 2K19 tournament. And then we also have a big free play area. We're running Fortnite tournament at it. And then we have a big free play area where you can come and play classic games. There's a kids area where there's like a stage where, when you're doing like the esports thing, you get to be on this big stage and you're having this pressure tournament thing. We're going to have a kids area where there's a kids stage where, the kids might be able to get up there and and do a little playing on stage in front of everybody, and instead of it being a pressure like tournament situation, like a little fun challenge or something, so that they can feel special. We're just trying to make a good variety of things there. And then there's also concerts by the Super Thrash Brothers, and I believe Lame Genie is going to be there too. So, just awesome music that's from video games played by like some really talented people.
So
CT GamerCon in Mohegan, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, what's cool about that is we have Mitch on the show like once a month. We've had him on since the beginning of, like, right around the time that he started doing. At the time, it was Connecticut Comic Con. He changed it to Terrificon. But we had him on the show right from, he was just starting the con, and we were just starting the show. So he's been on the show since the very beginning. So we've kind of been together from when he was starting out his cons to when we were starting out the show. So he's got us most of our guests. We have him on once a month. We talk about, he's like our dude. So it's cool that, Mitch is, your buddy too. That's awesome. That makes me feel so cool.
Mitch is a great success story, and I'm really happy for this guy. And you can tell the reason why we work with him, actually, we were at PAX East, and we had our sign up, and it said, we run tournaments and events. And he hadn't even been to our store, and he kind of said, oh, what do you guys do for tournaments? And we ended up having a conversation, and then having a couple meetings, and I showed him what we did at other conventions. And we have our own convention called Guts. We haven't done one for a few years because we've been moving our store. But, we've done 4 Guts conventions, which is just esports, like fighting games and Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we kind of took that concept, and, we haven't stopped really, it's not like we're not going to do another Guts event, but we've taken the concept that we had there and added it to the Comic-Con concept. That Mitch had the dealers and the connections at an awesome venue. So we were able to do get all the different players that take video games seriously, or even people that want to watch that, and then combine that with the awesome fun of shopping for things that you like that are cool. And then he's also kind of gets it, and, it's only $20 a day to go to the thing. So it's like, it's something where if we can make this affordable for people and make an awesome event, we'd love to keep doing that as long as we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that you kind of hit it on the head. Like, he loves doing this. He kind of loves the fans. Like, he's a fan himself, so he definitely has you in his mind. So it's always super affordable. His con's usually the cheapest con around. And just like Terrificon, it's legitimately one of the last Comic-Cons left, like pure Comic-Cons, where it's not like a pop culture expo. It's not, just there to pay some celebrities to see them for 10 seconds. Like, when you go to Mitch's con, you're having a good time for cheap money, free parking. You're probably leaving with a bunch of cool stuff, and you're going to have a really good time. And I just think he puts on the best show no matter what the genre is.
It's funny. He's super serious about making sure that stays a very pure Comic-Con, too. Because, being kind of one of the people on his, I feel like I'm in his kind of inner circle, and he occasionally asks me for advice on different things. I'll give him suggestions, and he'll be like, this doesn't have enough connections to our roots. I don't want to bring in this guest or something like that. And I respect that a lot. It might be frustrating for me, but
sure,
I respect that a lot. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm not much involved with Terrificon or anything like that, but, even just like, he definitely really thinks about things if they're going to be worth having at his events. And he's really put that into GamerCon too, where, he makes sure we get a big stage that's like a big production and looks nice. And when you come in, you feel like you're part of something cool. But it still does the GamerCon, so the week after GamerCon is PAX East in Boston, which is pretty far away from Mohegan. So it's like, it has some pretty cool crossover, but it's, a different type of thing. But you go to that, it's like over $100 just to go for a day.
Yeah.
And, the whole thing is just giant lines, and
you can barely move.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what, to be honest with you, I'm not going to put that down because I do enjoy, I look forward to and enjoy PAX East. But it's a different type of thing. That one's super commercialized and mainstream. And I don't even want to like kind of put them as, I feel like maybe even Boston or whatever it is, Fan Expo Boston now
Yeah.
feels even more commercialized. But like PAX East still has that true gamer feel, and you can feel the blood in it, and its creators that really do care. But like Mitch's cons feel like a very good like down to earth like roots thing where everyone involved is like someone that's super into it, like myself with the video games or the people that are running my tournaments. Like these guys literally like will come to my store and stay here for like 6 hours running a tournament because they love video games. You know what I mean? There's no other reason. And they love my store and help support me and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And obviously, there's a bunch to it. But like when you go to like GamerCon or Terrificon, you feel like, okay, this is something where everyone in every booth is doing like what they love, and they're not like a booth person paid to be there that like doesn't even work on the game type of thing. It's like people like me that has our own comics, our own video game store, our own comic store, that like live and breathe this, and like their whole life is, I need to make sure I sell enough video games to like feed my family. You know what I mean? And it's like really like the lifeblood of like the hardcore gamers and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't mean to like get into too much, but like that's I feel really like cool to be a part of that type of thing.
And I think I agree. It's awesome. It's definitely, I love having Mitch in the show. I love any time that I can give him, who I think he should have at the show. And when he does get them, I'm just like, oh, I told him he should get that guy, stuff like that. That's pretty cool. But what I think sets aside Mitch from everyone else is two things. The passion. I think that all these other shows you go to doesn't have that same kind of passion that he has. And just the value. I think that you feel more valued being in his show, being like, from what you get out of it, and just what you're giving to it, like the money wise, the parking wise, the items that you can buy there. Just like there's more value to your money, and you feel more valued as a guest.
Yeah, no, definitely, that's for sure. And as long as he can keep it affordable and obviously still make some money doing this event and stuff like that, I know that he's happy to make sure everybody, like, he always says to me like, oh, I want families to be able to come, and I think like under a certain age gets in free and this and that, and it's like that's good to hear. You know what I mean? And I think he gets that because he has a family, and he has kids that he had to bring them to things and make sure that it's affordable for everybody to go.
Absolutely.
And I feel that with my family too. So.
So at GamerCon, you're more.
On a side note, he's definitely a rock star too. He loves being part of everything. That's for sure. He has the it factor as a promoter, and like only a certain percentage of people like have that aura about him that Mitch does. You know what I mean? It's really cool to be a part of that, and it's infectious.
Yeah, I totally agree. He definitely is the best. Yeah, you described it perfectly. He is a rock star. Like he's this larger than life personality, and he's just awesome to always. I love talking to him. Anytime I have him on the show, it's just like a nerd out fest. We always have a really great time. He's usually on the whole episode. Like he's just great to talk to. Like sometimes we go so long because we're just talking that there's stuff we can't even finish talking about because we talk so long. So yeah, he's definitely
him
one of
and
those.
I occasionally don't get enough done for planning things because we just go on a tangent about something that we're nerding about.
He's definitely great about that.
Yeah.
So at GamerCon, you're more of the game guy. You're more of running games sessions and stuff like that. So at PAX, you're more of a salesman, I would say, right?
Yeah, so at PAX East, Game Underground legitimately brings every single video game that we have. Like,
oh, wow.
You come in our store and people are like, oh my god, I thought you were closing. Because we take every game off the shelf, we fill this booth, pack it with games, and we really just crank, because it's like, we are so lucky to have them choose Boston for their location.
Yeah.
Because it's killer. Like, there's only about five dealers of video games at that convention, and we got in the very first year that they had it. So like, we're able to kind of like be in there each year, and we really work hard that weekend, and I can't even tell you how tired we are when we're done. But and it's 4 days now instead of 3, which is I don't even know how they get away with doing a Thursday day, but they sell out Thursday too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm glad they do because you know, as a small, you know, business, they let us in there and we're able to really do some good stuff. And I'll tell you, like I was saying, like I didn't want to, you know, say anything really negative about PAX because it's super big, and I love Mitch, and I feel like you know, CC GamerCon is like kind of like my convention where I'm like really working hard on it, where I'm just kind of doing a booth at the other one.
Right.
But you know, I will, to their credit, PAX East still doesn't feel like they push out the little guy. I know, like myself and a couple other local game dealers are allowed to have booths right next to Microsoft. You know what I mean? So that's really cool to find there. But it's definitely the other experience where it's like San Diego Comic-Con where you can't even move and you're like running, kind of like trying to get through the aisles and, you know, waiting in line for like 3 hours to see whatever game that you're like really looking forward to. I'm hoping they have the new Mortal Kombat there. I haven't heard anything either way. They don't really announce stuff that much.
Right,
but
yeah, you just kind of show up.
I wish I could run a convention where we don't announce anything and people still show up.
Right?
That's
You
fair.
really you really have no idea what's happening at PAX until you walk in the room, which is kind of
right.
cool.
It is. They have some of the bands announced now, and they just announced them like probably recently. And it's like, you know, you had to buy your tickets in like October or something.
Right.
But that's something where they've earned the trust of the people, and they know that, like if I buy a ticket for PAX, you know, I know that I will have cool things to go to, and they're not going to screw you over. They're going to have good stuff, and you know, they do put on a great, amazing show, and I can't wait to be a part of that. It's really crazy that we're hardcore in this convention season right now because we got that, and then let's see, the week after is WrestleMania, which I wanted to attend. I don't think I'm going to get to, but that's right in New York City, so I might get out there. We'll see.
I've been thinking about it.
And then the week after that we have, or within the week or two after that, we have ClarkCon, which is the Clark University in Worcester has their own convention.
Oh wow!
And yeah, I want to give a shout out to those guys because they've had us every year, and it's only one day. It's a one-day convention, and we do their game room there, the same way we do at Northeast Comic Con or something like that. But the whole thing is run just by the kids in this college.
Oh,
and,
wow.
It's kind of like a project that they do. I don't know if they get like credit for it or anything like that, but it's like, you know, a college project, you know, that they're part of. And that is April 13th. And that's fun. I mean, they have like, you know, different panels, and it's all put on by these college kids, and they all love playing Smash there and things like that, and you know, hanging out with us. And it's always a great day, a full day of video games. I feel like they kind of make us kind of a main event of their thing, where it's you know, it's just a free to play room, but you know, it's a thing with the college kids, and they put in these guys, like it's very different from like someone like Mitch that like really knows what he's doing and has a million connections.
Sure.
To having like these kids are literally learning how to make connections and how to meet people, and something that like it's actually, you know, it might be like you might look at it on the surface and say, oh well, they're just doing like a silly little event, but like it's really not. It's like actually a good learning experience for these kids because like, you know, when I run like Guts or something, I have to go out and reach out to people and find people like Game Underground to come run a room for me, or find someone that's willing to spend $100 or whatever they charge for a booth to promote themselves or something like that. So that's like a really good learning experience for those people there. And for me, it's good to make connections with those kids because, you know, they can sometimes help me on my events too eventually.
Sure,
when they're
yeah.
done with school or whatever.
And they're the future, right? Like they're going to be the ones that are pumping out these cons later on. So, yeah, you definitely want to get that networking and get to know them and stuff like that.
It's really cool. And there's just so many in Boston. The week after that is Anime Boston, but we won't be a part of that. We just have way too much in a row there.
Right.
But, you know, there's just so much cool stuff to go to in New England. We're very, very lucky. And, you know, I would say definitely I can't even, you know, every single one of the things I just mentioned to you is a great event to go to. Especially, CT GamerCon is definitely, out of any of them, we've managed to make it like a pro level Smash Brothers event in New England, and we do weeklies and monthlies at my store for Smash Brothers. But this event basically is everything we do within 2 days, all at once, and having like a huge platform to promote that and beyond and stuff like that is really something lucky that we have in New England. So, we try to kind of take the ideas that Mitch has and then say, okay, well, this is our area and these are the people we know that we can get involved. So
Yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're a big wrestling fan, just like me and Jason. So I wanted to do a little wrestling talk before we let you go, because we
love that.
we talked a lot of games, we talked a lot of cons. So let's get a little wrestling talk in before we send you on your way. So are you just a WWE kind of guy? Are you into all kinds of wrestling? What's your preferred brand of wrestling?
Well, I love all kinds of wrestling. I started watching when I was a little kid. I got to enjoy the Attitude Era. I was a big original ECW fan.
Yes.
I went to some shows in Waltham, like when it was like I was a teenager, and they're like literally threw my friend off chairs into the crowd. Like it was crazy. Like that stuff, like you see it online or the videos, but to live the original ECW was insane to be at those events. It was like watching Sabu like glue his arm back together while he was fighting someone. I watched that in person. You know what I mean? That was, and it was something where, like, I think as a society, people didn't know better yet on a lot of these things, and they were able to do some really wild stuff back in the day.
Yeah, I remember.
Currently,
I remember when ECW was first like coming on, they'd have to put it on like the Spanish channel at, like after 1 a.m. When it first started coming out and stuff. So yeah, crazy stuff.
Super underground stuff, and like, that was so much fun. And then as when all that stuff kind of went away and WWE bought everybody, I still followed it and everything. But I would say as a wrestling fan, I always enjoyed wrestling, but I would say from 2000 until maybe 2 years ago. There really wasn't too much to be excited about. It felt like it was the downtime. Like wrestling kind of goes up and down, and you're always hoping that it'll eventually come up and be popular again or get big again. So, like in the 80s, it was huge. Then it had some downtime with like the New Generation era. Then the Attitude Era was huge, and then they had this whole time with Cena and Batista were popular and stuff like that, and Roman Reigns. And I felt like it was wrestling, and I love wrestling, and I still watched it. But I didn't feel like there was that whole ECW this is my thing going on.
Sure, it wasn't much. It wasn't must watch.
Yeah, it was tough, and now that's happening, and it's crazy. If I'm sure you guys are a little bit a part of this, but the people that are listening right now that are wrestling fans, they might be feeling it too. But the last couple of years, New Japan growing bigger and bigger, and then getting that audience and people learning who people like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks blowing up, and then getting the Bullet Club and then turning it into the Elite. Oh my God, what a genius thing! To take, hey, we don't own the Bullet Club, let's create our own brand. Work with that while we're popular, then spin it off. I mean, you gotta believe in these guys. It is something to be a part of and see happening with All Elite Wrestling. It's nuts. and then actually WWE, NXT's been really good. But the main show has really not been that great. SmackDown's been better than Raw for a while. But then I'm going to give them the credit. I believe personally, they came out. They were like, our show sucks. We're sorry. And ever since they've said that, I felt like both shows have improved. SmackDown's been exceptionally good, and I look forward to it. And Raw has been I'd say 50% of the time almost as good as SmackDown. And last night Raw was amazing, but
Raw was really good last night. Yeah. For sure.
You can't really, it's kind of like if you take a step back and go, okay, well, the Roman thing is something that would never really happen on Raw. So, like, you can't really give them too much credit as that's just a real life thing that was happening. But boy, was that, oh my God, like the feels.
Oh yeah.
To see a guy that was booed his whole career, obviously he has a lot of fans. I consider myself a fan of Roman Reigns. He gets hit a little bit with this John Cena. I'm sick of this guy. Why are they pushing him so hard? Type of thing sometimes. But I've always liked him. People there's a lot of people down on him. But as soon as he announced this whole thing and him being sick, and you could tell that like even wrestling fans that are like, oh, I hate this guy. Well, I don't hate this guy. I hate the character and like the way my TV show is going that I like. It's not his fault 100% that I don't find him interesting or I don't wish him bad. You know what I mean? The respect of wrestling fans, even if there's someone that they don't like Cena was or anything like that, they still know that these guys go out there and kill themselves for us. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I think the last 2 weeks of Raw has been really, really good. Since they brought up the 4 NXT talents, I thought it's been above and beyond some of the best Raw I've seen in the last few years. So I'm hoping that they keep them up there. Ricochet's been amazing. I hope they keep them up there, and I hope they don't bury them or ruin them. I think they're doing a really good job with them now, and I hope they keep them on that same path.
I definitely agree. It's definitely good to see those 4 guys come up. I am concerned. I'll tell you, obviously you're not going to watch wrestling without having complaints or concern things.
Sure.
I haven't had any really problems, but my one concern is I would have liked to have a little bit more of a story with these guys coming up instead of like, here's our guys. We know you like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I'll still appreciate it and take it. I'm not going to complain about Ricochet being on Monday. It's good for him.
Right.
But like, hey, and they wouldn't have to do the same thing, but the Nexus thing was like crazy when they did that.
Yeah.
And, they could have easily, with these 4 guys, had something like, done a little bit of a story with Triple H or Shawn Michaels or someone saying, oh, I'm bringing in these guys, and then, maybe some of the older guys trying to hold them down a little bit or something.
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of time. I'm not going to I don't write wrestling, you know what I mean? But like, there's still a lot of time to work with that.
I think that's what's going to happen with Undisputed Era. I think that's how they'll bring them up. They'll probably come up there like, Nexus style, or being like Triple H brings up his dudes to try to like dethrone Vince or something. I think they'll do something like that soon. Yeah. I just think they're holding it in their their back pocket for now.
Yeah, they're kind of keeping them in there, and they got to be a little careful with that stuff because you can see like I almost felt like that happened to Finn Balor where they sat on him for so long. Where it's like, okay, come on, guys, like this guy's obviously everything like. Maybe not everything, but like almost everything you could want in a wrestler. Like his demon gimmick could sell 1 million action figures. He's cool. Girls like him. Guys think he's cool, and he's someone you want to get behind. You know what I mean? But maybe they held off on him just so you would get behind on him. Get behind him. But that was the one guy of anybody where they did throw him like right in the fire and then he got injured. So
yeah,
really,
I think that's partly why they kind of soured on him. He got injured right when they needed him most. But I mean, like it wasn't really his fault. Like it
happens.
It happens. But
it looks like we're recovering from that for him, and he's getting a good chance. And, so they do some really weird stuff where it'll be like, we have Anderson and Gallows like. I'm not even going to say I'm a huge fan of them, but, like, they're kind of wandering around, and it's like, you have all these, like,
talented guys.
Easy storyline, like, here, do something with this. Like,
right.
Hey, make them mad at Finn. Hey, make them go with AJ. Hey, make them peer pressure one of the guys. You know what I mean? But then instead it's kind of like, oh, they're over there sometimes.
Yeah. No, I agree. They definitely should do something where, like, they're Finn's bodyguards or... they kind of did it in the beginning with AJ a little bit, but then as soon as they turned AJ face, they kind of just put them on the back burner and were like, all right, these guys are just here to be in the back and make a joke or, be a comedy act or something.
They don't do anything to cause it. And
right.
That's the whole thing is, like, I don't mind if they're not with them, but just be like, or obviously they weren't with him in WWE, but they were kind of alluding to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like just like have something happen, or have them like once in a while be like, oh hey man, well I don't need your help right now, or something. You know what I mean? There's always just like that little extra connection that I think could really make the show a lot better, and it goes up and down. For all the wrestlers they have there, where there could be just a little more storytelling could really make this awesome. And I don't know if that's whose fault that is, or if I'm looking into it too much. But
No, I completely agree with you. I'm on the exact same page as you, man. Like, I think that if they did add a little bit more storytelling, they had a little bit more connective stuff, it would be a more pleasurable watch. But I think that Vince is one of those guys that if he didn't create it, he doesn't really like to endorse it. He didn't really create the Bullet Club. He didn't really talking about their stuff in Japan or referencing it, he doesn't really like doing it beside a quick, oh, they were great in Japan.
Right.
It wasn't
that
his
makes sense.
storyline that he created. He doesn't really want to work off it, kind of, which I think is a bad call. He doesn't have to exactly copy it, but use elements of it. Stuff like that I think would be really cool if they had the Balor Club, it doesn't have to be. They could be a face group. They don't have to be a heel group like the Bullet Club. He could do so many different things where it's similar things to it, but it's different in its own right. But he just doesn't want to touch it at all.
It's kind of weird like that. But well, the good news, I said the best thing of anything. I'll give these guys a little bit of a shameless shout out here. The New Day is finally getting their due a little bit here, and I'm really happy for those guys.
Yes, I love the New Day. I'm a big fan, so I'm glad to see. I'm worried, though. I'm getting worried that they're going to break them up, and then I'm scared that someone like Xavier Woods is going to fall into obscurity. Someone like Big E will get a little bit of a push, and then he'll kind of fall into obscurity. I'm scared. I don't want that. But it looks like
I want them to stay together and do this together. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm nice enough to, because we have this video game store, I've been lucky enough to have Xavier Woods come in a few times.
Oh, wow.
And
nice.
He's actually been in my store probably about 10 or 12 times or something, and he's brought in Kofi with him, and he's brought in Big E, and he's brought in Rusev.
Wow.
And we're very lucky to be friendly with him, and they super deserve it, and I really hope that they give them a good shot. And I would really love to see. I can't see Kofi winning at this next pay-per-view.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't either.
No.
But I think best case scenario here is if they do something where they pull a trigger with the storyline thing to make that one more shot for Kofi at Mania. That's what I want to see. I really hope they don't pull away from that.
And have him win it there.
I don't mind him not winning at this one, but if it's like he doesn't win because something that Rowan does or something, or maybe Luke Harper comes back, and then you have the New Day backing up Kofi and the other guys backing up Daniel. Oh, how good would that be for Mania to have that little 3v3 feud going on,
It's
getting
not
a little
bad.
bit.
That would be pretty
I'm
cool.
down
Not
with that.
bad.
But
I'm down with that.
I'm getting the vibe that Vince is going to have like Big E turn on him or something and cost him the match or something, that they're going to both turn on him maybe. I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's the vibe I'm getting. He cut that promo where he's like, you guys are my brothers. You're everything to me. I'm like, that sounds like a classic Vince thing. He's going to have one of these guys stab in the back.
We heard that from the Shield. I don't know.
So
I don't know, because those guys have always been like that, though, and they've done a lot of interviews and stuff where they're like, hey, if they break us up, we're leaving. But they have been doing it for 4 years since they started saying that. So hopefully, that might be enough time to change their mind a little. But I think if you're Vince and you see them doing Street Fighter matches with the Elite, I don't think they're going to want to upset the New Day too much and do disrupt them and making them want to go anywhere either. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hope they don't end it.
But I hope they stay together, and I hope, honestly, like they're doing great in WWE, and I'm really happy for these guys. So hopefully they'll at least they're getting the most attention. I was every year the Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble, I was pulling for Kofi, and I really hoped that he was going to do it one of those things. But however things work out, they've kind of lit the world on fire right now. With,
Right, yeah.
With that gauntlet match and then the elimination chamber match, one after another.
Yeah.
Really, really got everybody hyped for Kofi. So
the Elimination Chamber was good, but it was great once you got that final Daniel Bryan Kofi Kingston matchup.
That was awesome.
It brought it to like that whole new
my God.
level where you were just like, oh, all right, this is an all right Elimination Chamber. I've seen better ones. But then right when you got to them being the last two guys, you were kind of like, whoa, this is awesome. Like, this is so sweet. So they just
Kofi
have like a
showed that
great
he could
chemistry.
stand his own on one-on-one, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They have a great chemistry together, and Kofi's definitely been busting his ass and killing it. So I really would love to see him get the chance, even if they give him the title for a week. He wins it and he loses it on SmackDown, or he wins it and loses it at the next pay-per-view.
Give him like a Rob Van Dam type of run.
Yeah, give him a little run. Just let him have it. I feel he deserves it. He's been there, 15 years, 12 years now? He's been there
Yeah.
long-ass time, and he's always been one of the top in-ring guys, and they just never let him showcase himself. And I think that, he's shown you that he's that upper echelon in-ring kind of guy, and I think he deserves it. I think he definitely deserves it. But we've definitely kept you a really long time. I know you want to get back to the tournaments and stuff at your store, so thank you for being on the show, Jamie. We're definitely going to have you on again if you like to come back. We'd love to have you on. Maybe have you on for a whole wrestling show or something, or whatever.
Yeah, I would love to complain about wrestling or get hyped about it for a whole show with you guys.
Yeah, we would love to definitely have you back. So
I truly feel like if you haven't been watching wrestling, right now is a very good time to be watching it.
To kind of jump
Every
back
show
in.
seems to be really good right now, and the All Elite stuff is going to be great this summer. So.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me on, and I will once again plug Game Underground, and we're in Waltham on Moody Street, and we do tournaments every day, and we have a big, nice arcade, and we also have games for sale here. And then CT GamerCon in March at Mohegan Sun. If you come to one of my things, that thing's going to be amazing.
So we'll definitely keep hyping you up, because obviously you've been so nice to us to let us have the Pokemon Go tournaments there and stuff. So we'll definitely always hype you guys up. We're going to be hyping up Mitch and CT GamerCom and stuff like that. So we'll definitely be talking about Game Underground for the foreseeable future, because you've been great to us to give us a home for these PvP tournaments. So thank you so much for that.
No problem. The turnout's been great too. If you can get down to that, we've been having a lot of fun with that. And my wife came in third in one of the first ones.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Next one's going to be March 10th. That's what we all decided on. So a little bit of a shorter turnaround, but I think we're still get a good turnout. We already have 4 or 5 people that have contacted me and was like, I'm going to be there, man. I had so much fun this last time. So.
Oh, for sure, yeah. All the people that come are very nice, too. It's been great.
It's been a great, awesome. Yeah, we've had nobody that's been complained or, got mad about an issue or anything like that. Everyone's been super sports and awesome. But, Jamie, thank you again, man. You were great to have on the show. We'll definitely have you back on. Maybe we'll do something with you like we do with Mitch, and maybe have you on more often. That'd be awesome.
All right. Yeah, whenever I can, man. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
See you, Jamie.
You too. Thanks, guys.
That was Jamie York, one of the owners of Game Underground. He's an awesome guy. Loves wrestling. He's one of us.
He
he's
is.
definitely
he's a mark like us.
Yeah, I definitely want to have him on the show again. Maybe just an all wrestling show, something like that. Maybe we'll have him on. Maybe he'll be our wrestling Mitch. I think that'll be a good time.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we'll definitely have him on. We're going to be doing more PvP tournaments there and stuff. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back with our last segment of the night, the mystery segment. So stay tuned for the last segment of the show. It's going to be awesome.
Back Rifters for our mystery segment.
Yes.
Which is probably still a mystery, because I don't think this music really gives it away.
No, it doesn't. Dimitri
quite.
did a good job with picking something, surprising us.
We're still, he's got the mystery alive. So while John was battling at Game Underground, making his way through the PvP tournament, almost losing to the Kurt Hawkins of the PvP tournament, but not quite losing to the
Yeah. Oh, man.
but not quite. So while he was doing that, I had my eye squarely on the 91st? Yeah, 91st Academy Awards. I believe it's the 91st.
So quick aside, because this is what we do on the show.
Uh-huh.
Not to steal your thunder, but the Rifties actually was kind of like us making fun of the Oscars, kind of.
Right.
We were like, oh, the Oscars suck.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the show. We were like, oh, these suck. Like, we didn't even want to talk about these.
That's fair.
And then I was like, you know what? We should have our own award show.
Yeah,
And
why
that's
not?
how the Rifties kind of,
Okay.
the Rick Rifty is kind of like the Oscar. It kind of similarly looks like him. It's a naked gold dude.
I think Rick Rifty looks better.
Yeah, I do
but,
too.
That's
I do
just
too.
me. Yeah.
But continue away.
Sure.
The
So-
91st or 90, whatever the hell it was.
I believe it's the 91st, yeah. So it was Oscar Sunday. There was no host this year, which was kind of interesting. No opening monologue or anything like that. They pretty much they ran a nice little montage, nice little movie montage at the beginning, and then they just got right into it. Which
It was 91st. You were
Okay,
correct.
yeah. It was a nice change. I actually kind of liked that there was no host. Sometimes those opening monologues can be a little bit tedious to sit through,
Sure.
especially if it's not someone that funny. So it was kind of a nice, different change of pace. They didn't do any awards during commercial breaks. They announced all of them.
Oh, they didn't do it?
No.
So I know they were going to, and people were losing
They-
their minds. 'Cause
Nope.
They chose like editing and some of the really ground pillars of like movies.
No, they were all presented live on television.
Good. I'm
Nope.
glad. That was partially one of the reasons why, beside the tournament,
Yeah.
that I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna do this. Like
Sure.
editing, sound work, like out of here, dude. Forget it. Like I'm not gonna watch this if that's what they're gonna do to my homies.
No, it was good. I think that's because there was no opening monologue
Sure.
that took 25 minutes. So maybe that's a good way to do it in the future. But yeah, it was a decent show.
So I gotta ask, since there wasn't a host, was it exhausting as it usually is to watch one of these shows?
I don't think so. It didn't feel that exhausting. I mean, it was still 3+
Sure.
hours long.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be arduous no matter what.
But you kind of had maybe like a breath of fresh air because you didn't have that host kind of weighing you down.
Yeah, it felt good because there was a nice pace to it because it was like, presenters would come out, they'd announce the award, and then it was like either a quick commercial or it was right to the next award. There was no bull crap in the middle. There was no host coming out going, I got to get my 3 jokes in now. Like, there was none of that. So the pacing was actually a lot better. You saw more like actual awards than you did anything else, which I thought was kind of good.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, that's what you want,
Like,
right?
If
You
you're
want
gonna
the
make me
awards.
sit there for 3 hours, I want
wanna
to see all the awards. Yeah,
right.
sure.
I agree.
So it was good. Yeah.
Was there any epic cutoffs like Drake at the Grammys or anything like that?
I wouldn't say epic cutoffs. No, there were a few people. So another rule I guess rule, if you want to call it, they implemented this year is that winners had 90 seconds to get from their seat up to the stage and give their speech. After 90 seconds, you're cut off.
Wait, so you only had
Yeah, a minute and a
90
half. Yeah, minute
from
and a half.
not to get from the stage to the seat to the stage, everything?
The whole thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's almost impossible, I feel.
So there were a few. I think there were a few they stretched it for though. Like the woman who won Best Supporting Actress, Regina King,
Sure.
definitely went past the 90 seconds. But I think it's because she was delivering a very emotional speech. So I think that they had their hand on the trigger in the back for the playoff music, but they only did it if it wasn't like something super emotional was going on. But a few guys did get cut off. But nothing too severe, nothing too controversial, just, pretty much the standard. So, and it was actually nice because all the acceptance speeches, there was nothing too, like, annoying, no soapbox stuff, no, like, none of that. It was just, pretty average, acceptance speeches. So, it was good. It was a decent show.
So let's go over the winners.
Yeah.
So since you watched it, you can kind of go over the winners.
Right.
And then we can kind of give our feel of if they should have won, they shouldn't have won. I didn't
Right.
see a lot of these movies, but I still, even though I didn't, there's
Same
some
here.
people that I'm
Yep.
like, you know what, this guy should have won or that guy should have won. So
No, for sure. So, in terms of Best Supporting Actor, that went to... Did that go to Mahershala Ali? I believe
yes,
it did. Yeah.
yeah,
So it went to Mahershala Ali for Green Book, which actually ended up winning Best Film. We'll get to that later. He's on a roll right now, that guy. I guess he was great in True Detective this year. I don't know anyone who's watching that.
I didn't watch it.
It's so good. He was so good in that. I guess he was in that Alita Battle Angel movie.
Yeah.
That we sort of aren't big fan, or at least I'm not a big fan of.
So I'm not a big fan of it, but then I found out that Robert Rodriguez is directing it, so I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
now I kind of want to give it a chance now because I
And
love him as a director. So.
I've heard from people who have seen it that Mahershala Ali is badass in that movie. So he's on a roll right now. He started out as just Remy Denton in House of Cards, and has now gone on to become like one of the most prominent actors, in the world right now.
And he may be the next Blade. He's rumored to be maybe in there if they can't work something out with Wesley Snipes.
I think that'd be good.
He might be the next Blade. And
Yeah.
I would maybe be. So this Alita Battle Angel, real quick, not to go on a quick aside here, but Christoph Waltz is in it.
Yep.
Ali's in it, like you said. Jennifer Connelly. They have like a Jackie Earl Haley, like a whole.
Oh,
they got
Rorschach.
a lot of. Yeah, they got a lot of people.
Yeah,
Casper Van
definitely.
Dien
Yep.
is in it. Wow. So they have a good.
Yeah. So he won Best Supporting Actor. Another.
Which I think probably. I don't know who else were the nominees.
Oh, I forget, but he was the favorite in that category, I believe.
Let me see if I
Also,
can find 'em for you.
for our sake, Best Animated Feature, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Which, I mean, that had to win. I was sitting there, and I was watching it with a bunch of friends, and they said, "Oh, I haven't seen it." I'm like, "You got to. It's without a doubt the best," and that was a big win, big eruption when that was announced. I think a lot of people were pulling for that one.
So did you get a chance to see it yourself?
Yes, I did. I finally watched it. I thought it was really good.
I loved it, man.
Yeah, again, like, I'm sort of new to the whole Spider-Man universe
Sure.
anyway.
And they did a really good job. I felt that if you were new to it,
Right.
you
yeah.
know,
I felt like I learned a lot from it, and I've become more and more of a Spider-Man fan now between that and the video game. So I think the movie that pissed people off the most throughout the night was Bohemian Rhapsody.
really.
At least from what I saw, just following along on Twitter, people were getting outraged that it was winning as many awards as it did. Rami Malek ended up winning Best Actor for his
Sure.
portrayal of Freddie Mercury. People were pissed about that. I have not seen the movie, so I can't
I didn't
accurately
see
judge.
any of the Best Actor movies. So he won for Bohemian Rhapsody.
He did.
You had Christian Bale for Vice,
Yep.
the movie about
Dick
Cheney.
Yep.
Viggo Mortensen in Green Book, Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born, and William Dafoe at Eternity's Gates.
Yeah. So I think it's just that I think a lot of people were pissed because they wanted Bradley Cooper to win. I think that stupid Star Is Born movie had so much support behind it.
I heard that he really good. Like I heard people. I read actually. I didn't hear it. I read on Facebook and stuff or Twitter and stuff like that. People that hate him. They're like, I hate this dude, but he definitely got screwed. He should have won. Like,
Yeah.
Or he should have been, in the best director conversation or something.
Right.
A lot of people were like, he got hosed. He definitely
Yeah.
got hosed. I don't know. I mean, I
People
like
were
Bradley
upset.
Cooper as an actor, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and he did a heck of a job because he essentially taught himself how to sing for that movie.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I will say this. So him and Gaga performed that Shallow song, which is like the #1 song in the country right now.
Yeah.
It's like
People love it.
everyone loves it. It's all right. Like, it's okay. It's not a bad song, but I'm not like, I listen to it and people are like, oh, wait till you hear them live and perform it together. It's amazing. And I'm like, this isn't even like a top 25 Gaga song. Like, she herself has like 25 other songs that are way better than this one.
Don't get me wrong. I like me some Gugs.
Yeah,
I'll take some Gugs.
she's great. She's got a lot of good hits. This song, Shallow,
Isn't it have like a country vibe to it too? Kind
I guess
of.
so. Yeah.
I heard it briefly and I was just like, not a fan.
Yeah, I'm just
Not
like,
feeling
this
it.
is what you all are losing your minds over? This is the song? Like, I don't know. It was okay. I thought the performance was average. And so, people were pissed that didn't win Best Film. They were pissed that Gaga didn't win Best Actress. they were mad that Bradley Cooper didn't win Best Actor. It's like, all right, guys, it's a movie, like, you know, it's based on like one song. Like, relax, okay? Like, it's okay. You know, your little star child there didn't win. It's okay. However, Olivia Colman, who did win Best Actress, she's sort of a middle-aged British actress. Oh my God, her acceptance speech was great because she was so flustered by winning. She didn't expect to win. She was in a movie called The Favorite. She played the Queen, and it was just a typical, like, just silly British, like, oh my God, I can't believe I won. And she just, like, she didn't really have a speech. She just sort of, like, was up there going, oh my God, for a couple of minutes, and she was, like, pointing at people in the crowd. She's like, I can't believe you're here. Oh, man, you know. She literally got up there, held up the award, and was like, this is hilarious. I can't believe that I actually won this. And that was kind of a cool way to end the night. That was the last, or second to last award of the night. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, overall, I thought pretty decent show. And
wow, Melissa McCarthy was...
She was.
What?
Yeah, she was in a movie called How Can I Ever Forgive You?
Get out, dude.
And
trash.
Well, I'll tell you what. I only saw it. I mean, I didn't see the movie, but they showed a couple of clips as they do throughout the night. I mean, it looked like she played a legit, serious, dramatic role.
So she's no longer woman Chris Farley?
No, she's
ripping off Chris Farley?
She's branching out, yeah.
I don't know.
Now, again, I'd have to see the movie to accurately assess it.
Yeah,
but
I just hate her. I
Really?
can't stand her.
I think she's cool.
I just think that she legit is just Chris Farley. She's trying to be Chris Farley, and she's not as good.
I think you could make a case for that when she first started doing movies. She's done a lot of dumb movies. I'll give you that.
Sure.
She's done a lot of just trashy,
But at least when Chris
like,
Farley did trash, it
Yeah.
turned out to be funny at least, or acceptable or watchable.
Sure.
I feel like a lot of her movies, she's just so annoying. She's legit trying to be like Chris Farley,
Yeah.
wearing tight clothes or screaming and
I've seen some movies of hers where she's legit really funny, though. And she's not trying too hard. She's not forcing it.
I haven't been there yet. I haven't seen them.
And I'm curious to see her. I do want to see this movie she was in because it looks like she legit played a serious, dramatic role. And I guess she did really well because she was nominated.
Sure, yeah.
So, now, granted, I don't think the Best Actress category was that strong this year because, I mean, Lady Gaga was nominated. So, like, who are we kidding here? But
Maybe she's good, though.
I don't think she's a good actress, but that's... Stay in your lane.
She was good at Machete.
Was she?
Machete 2? Yeah, she was.
I wouldn't know. I saw her in American Horror
I mean, that's
Story,
not
and I was like,
that's not an Academy Award
no,
winning
I was going to
film,
say, it's
but-
kind of hard to judge it based on that. But the other big winner at the Oscars was Black Panther, which I thought was
Yes.
really cool. They won for original score. They won for production design, costume design. I believe they won a screenplay award, too.
So they won 4 awards and they were nominated for 7.
Yeah.
So they won, like you said, original score, costume design, production design, and was that it? No? Well, they won 3. My bad. They won
Okay, so
3 and
those
were
were the
nominated for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're nominated for 6, which is unheard of for a comic book film.
Yeah.
So winning 3 Oscars is unreal. And something that before we decided to, well, not decided, but before we got on air to finish off the segment and do the last segment of the show, we were talking about how this is kind of a new age for comic books and comic book movies and stuff. So, like, when I was a kid, it wasn't cool to talk about comic books. You were kind of just like, you were a nerd. You were a loser if you had a comic book shirt and a loser
Yeah.
nerd.
It was taboo, yeah.
Yeah, you had an this sweet X-Men hoodie I'm wearing. Every time I go out, and Jason can attest to this, I'm sure Dimitri could if he went out with me anytime. Anytime I go out, generally at least one person's like, sweet hoodie man, or love the sweatshirt dude, or something like that. Back in the day, people would be like, loser, nerd, get out of here, you loser.
Oh, yeah.
And it was not cool to read. You had to like hide it. It was kind of cool to watch the animated shows, but you couldn't really talk too much about them. When I was younger, it was just kind of wrestling was really cool and stuff like that. Like, yeah, Batman was kind of cool, but that was about it. You couldn't. If you read comic books, you were a loser.
Right.
If you wore a comic book T-shirt, you were a loser. You watched a comic book movie, you were definitely a loser because they sucked.
Yeah.
They were awful.
They weren't good.
Then
No.
you kind of got into this renaissance of comic books, and this new age of comic books were starting to become cool.
Yeah.
You know, and people were like, yeah, I like Spider-Man, or I like Batman, or Wolverine's the man, or, you know, and people were kind of getting out there. And then you got into this, you know, just maybe the last couple years, you got into this golden age of comic books.
Yeah.
Where, like, in school where you were beaten up by a jock because you were reading comic books, he's
Yeah.
like, hey, man, can I borrow that Spider-Man
Right.
book? You
Yeah.
know, and now all these kids that were made fun of you or didn't like you, they're reading these comic books. Or girls are like, oh, man, this dude's hot because he likes, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also the cool actors are playing these roles.
Sure.
Like, you know, Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. He's a
Yeah.
cool guy, and he's like, I want to be Deadpool.
Absolutely.
You know, Robert Downey Jr., cool guy, wants to be Iron Man.
Right.
Loves being Iron Man. You know, I think that's a big part of it.
So
It's
you-
not just old ass Tobey Maguire playing Spider-Man
And
like it's, you know-
dancing.
yeah, and like no, none of that.
You had this golden age of comics, and like I said just before we started the segment, we've kind of Black Panther's kind of revolutionized things now.
Yeah.
We're not just in a golden age of comics anymore. We're now in a platinum age of comics. He's brought it up to this next level. He's climbed up that. He's about to grab the title, you know, in the Money in the Bank or in a ladder match. Like, he's about to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's got up to that new level where a comic book movie can now actually be a contender,
Yeah.
actually be considered a good movie.
Right.
It's not just Hollywood big budget, you know, summer flick, or
Sure.
it's actually a chance of becoming. And don't get me wrong, Black Panther to me was mediocre.
Yeah, it was all right.
All right.
It
I'm being a
was-
little tough. It was good.
Slightly above average.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was not amazing in my
No,
book.
yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. You know,
I still think Thor Ragnarok was better.
I think Thor Ragnarok was better. I think Captain America Winter Soldier was better.
Sure.
I think the first Guardians was better. I think Spider-Man Homecoming was better. I think I would say it's top 10 Marvel.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't crack top 5. It might not even crack top 7.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you count the Avengers movies. If you don't count the Avengers movies, it's hovering around like 6 or 7. If you count the Avengers movies, it's probably 9 or 10.
Yeah, it's close.
It's definitely on the lower end of the top 10. It's top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I'm in the minority here, or we're in the minority here, because a lot of people love this movie.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people love this
And
movie.
that's great. I'll take it.
It is great.
Yeah.
And I think at first, and don't get me wrong here, because some people might take this statement wrong, I think at first it was a culture shock. And
Oh, it
that's
definitely
why
was.
people loved the movie.
It definitely was.
It was representing people that weren't really represented in the past. It was kind of one of those things that people could relate to and kind of, you know, run to it and embrace it. And I think that kind of pushed it a little bit more and gave it more
Sure.
hype than maybe it deserved.
Maybe. But I also think it evolved into something so much bigger
Sure.
than that.
Yeah.
As it came out and more people started watching it.
It was
and
initially
like,
a
wow.
culture shock type deal, and now it's come into something more.
Yeah.
It's brought us into this platinum age of comics now. It's no longer golden, it's platinum, baby. And I don't know. We've had this conversation on the show multiple times. Are you going to have, you know, that big blockbuster fatigue? Are people going to get sick of comic book movies? Yeah, I think people get sick of blockbusters.
Sure.
I've seen it. You know, people will stop seeing them or won't make as much money, or they'll get bad reviews. But nothing so far has come to show us that comic book movies are going to hinder in any way.
No.
They're pumping them out even more.
I think, if anything, comic book movies are now becoming more and more integrated with pop culture.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Oscars were a great example. Like, Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson were presenters. They presented together because Captain Marvel's coming out, right?
Sure.
Deadpool was
A
featured.
former Oscar winner, too, is
Right,
being Captain
yeah,
Marvel.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
A
Like,
best
they're getting
actress.
the best of the best.
Right. Deadpool was in like a little skit they had at the Oscars that night. Like, he was involved in that. So it's more integrating into pop culture now.
And a few years ago, you'd never see that.
No, you wouldn't. No.
You'd never see that.
Nope.
And that's partly why we created the Rifties in a way, because I was just like, oh, I hate the Oscars. You know, like Sam
Yeah.
was like, oh, we should have an Oscar segment. And I was like, F this. Like,
Yeah.
if there's not one comic book movies on here, like, you know, oh, sound editing, cool. Yeah, there's cool sounds in my comic movies. That's it. Just
Yeah.
like behind the scenes stuff. Like, why can't, you know, there's so many different things. Like, there's obviously great production design in Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Some of the best designs ever. The costumes were by far the
Were
best.
badass.
No one even touched their costumes.
No, yeah.
You know, if we were rating Black Panther on its costumes, it'd be like top 3 Marvel
It's
probably.
like God tier. Yeah.
Yeah, their costumes are great. The music score, amazing, awesome music. Everything about it was great. Honestly, I think it should have got maybe a better sniff for Best Picture. Granted, I didn't see these other
Sure.
movies,
Yeah, I didn't either.
but
so.
you kind of knew that it had no chance of winning Best Picture. But I think it definitely should have gotten maybe a little bit more of a sniff. I guarantee you it's better than A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
I bet you it's
I would be willing to bet. Yeah.
I bet you it's better than, you know, whatever Bohemian Rhapsody.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it's better than that. I mean, The Favorite, I don't know.
I don't. I mean, The Favorite actually looked pretty good, but I actually wanted Black Panther to win at the Grammys for best soundtrack,
And it didn't.
and it didn't. And I was shocked because that soundtrack was great.
Yeah.
That was baller.
Yep.
So
They kind of hit everything you needed.
yeah, I mean they've been well represented and they've done such a great job. That one movie has done such a great job of elevating
Yeah.
the world of comics into pop culture, being like, hey, we're here and we matter, and you know
So
it should be considered too.
Kind of to make like a baseball analogy in a way. You kind of had, you know, Iron Man coming in and kind of bring comics into the limelight a little bit. They got the single. Then
Yeah.
you had, you know, I guess I would say Guardians brought you that next level of, wow, this movie's funny. It's kind of really cool.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool kind of hit him and loaded up the bases, and then Black Panther walked up and cracked the grand slam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's definitely been these little bit of momentum jumps, but Black Panther definitely brought it to this next level. But it was a slow kind of, you know, it kept moving up. Like,
Yeah, it took time.
no one cared about comic movies. Comic movies back in the day sucked.
Yeah.
Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, trash. The
Yeah.
original Fantastic Four, trash.
Yeah.
The other Fantastic Four, trash.
Yeah, even worse.
The newer Fantastic Four, trash. If you're Fantastic Four, you're trash, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It just, there was so many things that, quick aside, another show that was a sitcom that was Home Improvement quality.
Oh, that was good.
Quality.
Yep, that was good.
Home Improvement.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, it's on the TV right
that was
now.
quality. Yep.
So we're winding down here, so we're just going to kind of wrap up our final statements here. But, yeah, I don't think you're going to see comic book movies stopping anytime soon.
Oh no.
I would love to see DC get their shit together and kind of be that WCW to WWE. I would love that. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think they're trying. I
Yeah.
think they need to stop just hiring the biggest name.
Sure.
But comic book movies are where it's at right now. I think that unless you're a hater,
Which there are plenty of.
that you don't give it a chance. But I
Yeah.
think if you legitimately are a moviegoer and you love movies, there's something on Marvel's list that you could enjoy or
Yeah.
you'd like. Now, you might not like them all. You might
Sure.
comic book movies might not be your thing, but there's at least something on the list that you could enjoy.
If you don't necessarily have to be a comics fan. If you're not familiar with comics, but you're open to just a new story that you've never heard before that you might be interested in, you're right. Marvel's got something for you. You'll enjoy at least one of those stories.
And not everyone is your typical just comic book movie. You have something like Guardians, it's like a space opera comedy.
Yeah.
You have something like Captain America Winter Soldier that's a espionage thriller, you know, cold case type deal, like
Right.
something that you normally don't see in a comic book film. You have, you know, your classic comic book movie like Spider-Man. You know, your classic, just that's your you know, there's so many different things. You can go classic comic book. You can go Thor Ragnarok, where you know, a sci-fi movie, basically a sci-fi
much.
comedy for the most part.
Yeah.
With comic characters. I mean, there's just so many different ways they're doing things now, and I just don't see it stopping anytime soon. So I got to give Black Panther the credit where credit is due.
Big time.
And it seems that, to go back to the Academy Awards, I think the Oscars are definitely stepping up, and I hope that they continue. Like, maybe next year I'll watch.
Yeah.
Maybe,
You
know,
should.
maybe next
Yeah.
year I'll give it a chance. Like, I used to watch it all the time, and then I just kind of got sick of it. Kind of the same movies won, or you could tell the movies that were going to win, or,
Yeah.
Movies that I felt should have been nominated weren't, or stuff like that. And I think this year they definitely stepped up a little bit with the nominations, and I kudos to you, Oscars, Academy Awards. Kudos
definitely.
to you. 92, I might be there. Maybe. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. But that's going to end our segment on the Oscars and this platinum age of comic books. So we tied it in a little bit. We hit everything tonight.
Yeah.
So we're winding down here. So what's one thing you chaps are looking forward to? Dimitri? He's like, I hate you.
I have a very long list of Netflix things to catch up on.
So give me a couple.
I'd have to check my queue, but there's a flat Earth documentary that I actually kind of want to watch.
Oh boy.
I think it'll be hilarious.
You and Kyrie Irving would be best friends.
I think it would be hilarious because they interview all these flat Earth believers.
So,
Shout out AJ Styles.
no.
Oh yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't. Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
He's not joking?
I don't think so. Maybe he pulled a Kyrie and went back on it and said, "Oh, I was just kidding," but I'm pretty sure he's a flat earther. Yeah.
It's becoming more and more popular, which is really
It
weird.
is. Yeah, it's getting creepy now.
Yeah. It's like the next Scientology.
That's not
Is it
good.
one of those, like how we talked about last week, like documentaries? Is it one of those things where I just want a fluffy doc? It's obviously not fluffy.
Well,
No, they actually talk to believers and try and like ask the believers like, how do you believe in this day and age when science is proving you wrong? And they just talk about it for an hour and a half.
So this thing here says AJ Styles says he isn't a flat earther, has some thoughts about NASA.
Oh God. I'm not a flat earther, but everything NASA does is crap. Is essentially what I would gather from that. Because I've heard his name linked with it for years, and I never wanted to read into it because I didn't want to believe that he was a flat earther, but I'm pretty sure he is. Again, he might have pulled a Kyrie and just started walking it back.
So according to what I'm reading here is Daniel Bryan called him it in one of his promos
Okay.
and accused him of being a flat earther.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm not a flat earther, but there are some things that they say, to which Styles responds, I never thought about it like that. Here's the thing, you don't have to believe anything that's told to you. Like, you can always question anything.
Okay, so he doesn't believe in the moon landing either, I'm guessing.
He
It's
says,
probably one of
although I'm
those.
not a flat earther, there are some things that, like, make sense. But then again, satellites and the curvature of the Earth, if you're a sniper, you've got to take all that into account. And I'm not a flat earther, but they bring up some interesting points. It's interesting, and I think you should be able to question anything you want, and you don't have to agree with anybody. I just find it interesting. So he finds it. See, I don't know if
Yeah, I don't know.
he says, like, I watch all this stuff about aliens. I'm a sci-fi guy. I just enjoy that stuff and conspiracy stuff. I'm a conspiracy dude.
Yeah,
I'm big into
I
conspiracy
can dig a good
theories.
conspiracy theory.
You know?
But yeah, I don't know.
I think you're all crazy.
He
Yeah.
said, I could have killed Daniel Bryan for saying that because now you get all this stuff. God, shut up, please. Don't get that started because I'll never hear the end of it. But it's interesting,
well,
and I
just say you
find
don't
all those
believe it.
things interesting, and that comes to science fiction or fact.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
He's not outright saying no, so that to me means
and then
he's-
they get
Oh God. Are we pulling? Oh jeez. Yeah,
okay. All right.
that's a good meme. We
That is
gotta
an-
post that.
Yeah, that's an awesome meme.
We found
But
a
anyway, the documentary on Netflix is called Behind the Curve. That's
Okay.
the flat Earth.
Yeah.
On the curve. Yeah. Makes
Okay.
sense. All right.
All right.
Uh,
How about you, Jason?
I keep seeing teasers for it. I can't wait for the new Watchmen show that's going to come out on HBO later this year. They keep showing more and more teasers. I trust HBO to do a great job with Watchmen. So
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
They usually do a good job.
and
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
set not from the movie, but
Right.
it's set from the comic book.
Right.
So it's after it's set now in the world of the comic book. So all the events that happened in the comic book, because obviously the movie changed the ending of the comic book big time.
Sure. Yeah.
Changed it big time.
Yeah.
Which it probably wouldn't have worked in the big screen anyways.
Was the Watchmen movie any good?
I liked it.
I liked it.
I
Yeah.
liked it.
As a comic book movie, was it any good?
Yeah, that's probably why I liked it, because I don't know
It
anything
wasn't a
about the
comic
comic.
book movie?
I don't know.
If you go into I don't know. I think they got the characters pretty well. Like I'm a huge Rorschach. I love Rorschach. I think he's one of the best characters ever made from comics. And I thought they got his essence so well that I was able to overlook certain things.
Okay.
So the characterization was amazing, but some of the plot was kind of stupid, and they completely changed the ending. Like this giant alien creature comes down, and that one of the other guys makes, and it's completely like opposite of what they did.
Isn't the
in the
Watchmen movie like 3 hours too?
No, it's standard. I think it's like 2 hours.
It's like
No,
it's a little over 2, I think.
It's like 2.5.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it's
Oh,
like 2.5.
I thought it was like average.
The fight scenes are pretty cool. It just, I don't know. It could have been better. It's not like the best thing I've ever seen, but it didn't suck for sure. It didn't suck for sure.
But I think that HBO show is gonna be awesome. So.
Yeah, and it's some big names like doing it, right? Producing it.
Yeah. I don't know exactly who, but I know that they did get some big heavy hitters on it. So, and they keep showing more and more. Again, just like 10, 15-second teasers. But every time I see one, I'm just like more and more excited.
So I've been going in blind. I know nothing about it. I know we don't want to get here. I know that Alan Moore, the guy who created Watchmen, I don't think he has anything to do with it. I think he's kind of stayed out of the limelight, anyways. But I know the artist has come out and endorsed it.
Okay.
So Damien Landolf is the guy. He's Star Trek, and he had something to do with, what did he do? I know that name. Was he Lost? Lost. He was the writer on Lost, one of the
okay.
Lost guys. So, yeah, he was a writer and producer on Lost. He was a writer and producer on The Leftovers. He was one of the guys behind Phineas and Ferb, if you were into that show.
Oh yeah.
One of the guys behind Crossing Jordan, Nash Bridges. So he's created a lot of quality television shows. He was a producer on the most recent reboot of Star Trek, which I've kind of enjoyed. He was the writer for Cowboys and Aliens. Never saw it. I heard it wasn't that great, though. He was the producer and writer for Prometheus. Not too bad. He was the writer for World War Z. So he's done some good stuff. So it's in good hands. It's definitely in good hands.
Yeah.
So hopefully...
A few of the actors who have been announced: Jeremy Irons, who I believe is going to be Ozymandias. He's in it. Regina King.
Really?
Regina King, coming fresh off of her Oscar win, is going to be in it, and Don Johnson. So
Wow.
not
Jeremy... Wow.
yeah, so not bad.
So they're
far.
bringing back actual characters.
Yes,
Or at least Ozymandias.
Ozymandias is the only one I know so far that is definitely coming back. But yeah, not bad.
As long as they don't bring Rorschach back or something.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
Probably
that's a different...
Yeah.
We'll talk about that eventually.
probably.
Because you'd get me talking about it for hours if... But I'm looking forward to... Jeez, I don't really know what I'm looking forward to. I guess this Pokemon Go tournament, I kind of want to redeem myself. I didn't place well in the first tournament. I didn't place well. I mean, I was, I guess, the second place, but to me, that's not placing well. I don't have a lot of time for this next one, but I feel I'm going to do a lot better. I feel more comfortable with the Pokemon that I get to choose from. It's the Tempest Cup, so it's ground, flying, electric, and ice. So Whiscash is coming back. I'm going to have some other cool guys I've been working on. So that's going to be sweet. Our second tournament's called the Luck is for Winners tournament.
Okay.
So no luck is for losers. It's for winners for this one.
Yeah,
So it's going to be green colored or yellow gold colored Pokemon and lucky Pokemon.
Oh,
There's
okay.
going to be the Pokemon allowed in this tournament. So, and again, there'll be badges, there'll be stuff like that. There'll probably be some kind of beverage that you can win. So there'll definitely be a lot of cool things, and we're definitely picking up steam, just like Jamie said. More people are kind of getting into it. It seems we're getting more and more people like either interested or, even though we got the same amount this time, but they were mostly all different people. It wasn't kind of like a couple people came back and, but it was all new people and stuff. So that was pretty sweet too. So hopefully the people from the first one, people from this one will come back. And I've already gotten at least like 3 or 4 people that are like, oh, I'm going to be back. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And hopefully Dimitri won't be busy so we can do interviews. And I want to bring it to the next level where we're maybe doing commentary and we're streaming it. I definitely want to stream it on our Twitch. I don't even know how to get on our Twitch, but we'll figure it out. But I definitely want to get it out on our Twitch or maybe put it on our Facebook. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I want to get it out there to you guys so you can check it out. But thank you for listening to this episode of Static Rift here on the Go Network. Thank you to Jamie for coming on and talking with us for way longer than he planned to. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dimitri, for being an amazing producer. Thank you, Jason, for being the best co-host on the planet. Thank you, AJ Styles, for maybe one of the best memes I've seen in a long time.
Great meme. Strong meme.
And thank you, listeners, for listening to the show every week. So you can find us here, like I said, on the Go Network, same static place, same static time. I'm not going to go on the whole spiel of where you can find us. You should know by now, but maybe next week I'll tell you. See you later. Good night.